Hello, my dear friends. I'm back with a new video, and I hope that all of you are doing great. So, as I promised in my previous video, that I will be back with a new video to discuss in details about what is happening really with the Spicejet, as we are hearing more and more about Spicejet. Uh, in the news about all the wrong reasons and difficulties in their operations. So we'll discuss more about that, and uh, we will also analyze what is the impact of that uh, on the overall aviation industry and aerospace industry in India. So we are going to talk in detail about all this points in this particular video, and I also would try to cover a little bit of the broader aviation challenges because of this kind of uh, incidents or this kind of occurrings. So I will try to cover all that in this particular video. So without any further delay, let's get into the details about what's really happening in Spicejet. So as you have been hearing that Spicejet has been in news about insolvency proceedings in NCLT, uh, and some of the lessors have uh, brought the insolvency proceedings against Spicejet, as they were not able to uh, give back the aircrafts after the wet lease were uh, expired, or even the situations like they were not able to pay back to the lessors, uh, and also uh, we were hearing that all the cabin crew and other employees, pilots and other employees, ground staffs, were not being paid on time. So some of them had already spoken about their salaries being due for about 4 months. Also uh, the EPF that were deducted from their salary about 5-6 months back. So those were not deposited. So those kind of challenges are being reported again and again in news, as well as in various other forums. So let us try to understand what is really happening in Spicejet. So as you know, that Spicejet has been facing an extended period of financial losses, and also they have been under severe financial pressure for quite some time. In between, they received some reply in forms of some of the credit lines and loans and all that, but you cannot really run for very long time with all those debt, unless you really reform your business practices and how you do the business. And especially the business like in aviation in India, it's a very cutthroat competition. So what happened is that the fleet size has reduced considerably. uh, from about 30 aircraft, it has come down to around 11 or 13 aircrafts of late. And that has also uh, caused a lot of flights to be cancelled or delayed. So I was given to understand that probably in their last month in July, their flight schedule was down about 44% uh, from their April schedule. So that's a huge cut, right? Because you do not have the aircrafts to be operated, and why you do not have that? Because either your lease has expired, or you have not paid for lease renewal, or you have not paid for the maintenance, or for the grounded aircrafts and all that stuff. Apart from that, we heard about incidents where the aircraft systems malfunctioning, where the APU were not operating properly, causing uh, the passengers to be uh, passengers who were on board that aircraft. They had to go through harrowing heat and suffocating conditions. So those are the things that really puts the airline in a challenging situation as you uh, go further down in deep into the water, and you are not only just you know canceling the flights, or you are not just delaying the flights, you are losing your potential future customers, and difficulty in paying back to the customers for the delayed or cancelled tickets. So all these things putting together is further uh, complicating the situation for Spicejet. And apart from that, on the NCLT side, so we were given to understand that uh, the NCLT has allowed one of the lessors to withdraw its uh, insolvency proceedings uh, against Spicejet due to an out of court settlement. uh, However, since the airlines and the lessor had informed the NCLT court at a very late stage, so they were fined for about 15 lakhs, I guess, which would be borne by both the parties because of this delayed information. However, I see this as a welcome reprieve for Spicejet, because at least uh, you probably have a little bit elbow room with some additional aircrafts being available for operations, and try to recover through your operations. Now, coming to the overall aviation industry perspective, especially in India, because as you know that India is growing aviation market, and we have about still about 1700 plus aircrafts that are on order, and we are hoping that in next 5 to 7 years all these aircrafts will be coming in Indian market and serving the Indian market. Now, we have seen some of the major airlines going bust earlier, like Jet Airways, like Kingfisher Airlines, GoAir. So all these have put more and more pressure back on Indian aviation as we move towards kind of a duopoly right now, as managed by or dominated by two airlines, the Indigo and Air India. However, even in that duopoly, we know that Air India is also struggling uh, with its internal processes to really turn around the operation and becoming profitable. So they have been losing money. So they have been requesting for additional uh, cash infusion in operations. So obviously this puts a lot of you know question mark on the future growth of aviation industry in India, because it's not just about getting the aircraft or just having those uh, swanky large airports, or the people trained for pilot or cabin crews or for ground operations, but it also requires a very stable governance process that needs to be in place for the safety and the operational viability of the businesses in India. Because if the businesses are not really doing well, so they will try to cut the corners, and if they try to cut the corners in aviation industry, invariably that will trickle down somewhere in the safety concern of the aircraft and the passengers and crew, because somewhere you overlook the required safety norms just to get the aircraft flying somehow, right? So those are very dangerous signals for the aviation industry in India, because as the industry grows, so we need to have really a very strong mm, aviation regulator, a very strong oversight agency who will look after those kind of challenges. I know that you know uh, the DGCA is currently short staffed. It is struggling with getting the right kind of experts or people on board. But even after that, probably we have to look at somewhere like maybe a public private partnership kind of an approach to start with, because we need to get those experts on board in the regulatory body, maybe deputed or maybe recruited for a certain term, so that they can provide those oversight, they can provide those guidance and all that regulatory requirement they can help with for the airlines as they grow their operations, and as they grow their fleets. Also, I would say that at the end, that the company boards, the airlines companies and their boards and the leadership also needs to take these things very seriously, because it's not just about flying, and it's not just about ensuring that you are profitable or you are just making money, but it's also about passenger and crew safety. So obviously you also have to put every effort, all the governance checks and balances in place. uh, the boards needs to question the uh, leadership, the executive leadership, about what is really happening, how they plan to mitigate certain challenges, and strategically how the airlines is really going to turn around and move forward in a manner which is a really sustainable uh, growth for the company, for the aerospace and aviation industry in India. So those are some of the very critical and tough questions to be asked by the boards, by the leaders, to really look at how they can uh, turn around from this particular situation, and help the industry in India uh, grow in a really sustainable long term manner. So with that, I would like to hear from you about your thoughts, how you uh, think that Indian aviation industry is evolving over last few years, and how you want us to cover some of the other aspects or some of the other important points on this topic as well. So with that, have a great day. Thank you.